So today's kind of a short video, but I wanted to talk about kind of a smallish book binding scandal that happened recently. My name is Taylor Rose, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about everything reading and writing. So you can see here that little red cover posted on book threads roughly a week and a half ago about this bookbinder with the caption, "Do not support companies that use AI overpaying real artists. Stop giving them a platform, support, and your money." Attached are screenshots from the Instagram of the bookbinder. I will say they don't seem to be a company. It seems like one person, but Little Red Cover shared something from their Instagram story where it has a screenshot of the product in question. So you can see it is a rebind of a book. Essentially, people will buy a book, take it home, or rip off the cover, put a new cover on it. You can look at people doing it on YouTube. Little Red Cover had shared the screenshot with the following notes. And I'm assuming even when this author has been very anti-AI, so this is a very unapproved edition. If I start seeing y'all post buying, hyping up this edition, I will be insta-blocking you. To my mutuals that liked this post, consider this a warning. Maybe you didn't see the third photo in the carousel. It's not too late to take back your likes and follows. So this is the third photo in the carousel of a rebind of Quicksilver by Callie Hart. The reason this upset so many people is because very recently, Callie Hart put out a statement saying, "I don't approve of AI. Stop it." And then this book, Rebind, was posted. Little Red Cover went on to show Fabled Press's Instagram description at the time, UK indie bookbinder, both artist collabs in AI, Photoshop and Illustrator, commissions open, and Little Red Cover's note says they literally say in the bio that they use AI. Why are y'all following them and giving them your money? Good question. Good question. A Place in the Sun shared the description as well and said, "Here, buy a handbound copy for £139 or thereabouts from a company using AI for a cover where one of the authors has already said she didn't support her work in any way being utilized in AI renderings. It's Quicksilver. This absolutely counts. Disgusting. And to those girlies with their, it's so pretty." So if we take a closer look at the actual book, I mean, yeah, it is pretty. I will say, like, I know the original cover had the weird butterfly thing that everyone was making fun of. So I guess that's why they chose butterflies for this. But I don't think it matches with that main image at all. Like, those are very different styles. Yeah, I mean, maybe if that center bit filled the whole cover. And then we have the sprayed edges, more butterflies with the knife. But at least I feel like those are like more stylistically consistent than the cover. Y'all aren't here for art critique. And then this is the image in question that, first upset Little Red Cover. Yeah, I don't know what's up with her whole hand thing. I didn't get that far in Quicksilver because I really didn't like it, but I don't know. I mean, it looks like every other AI piece of art out there. Some people were a little confused because Fabled is actually a pretty common name in the bookish community. And you're probably thinking, I've heard about Fabled recently. The Well-Read Nurse did post a reminder for the general public. Quick reminder, Fabled, the book box company, shit the bed and didn't deliver on a lot of things and closed their doors. It also came out that Fabled had not paid authors who had done boxes with them, but now they're going around selling the leftover backstock without permission. After deleting their website and then bringing it back and then deleting it again and then bringing it back. And so Fabled, the book box company, is Fabled Co. is the Australian company that has upset a lot of people for financial reasons. Versus Fabled Press is an Etsy store currently using AI to produce rebindings. Kylie Hart author did not authorize, agree to, or approve the binding that is currently being passed around the internet. This is not a collaboration with her, so stop saying y'all are disappointed in her. Wine Cellar Library says Fabled Press needs to make it clear on their post that these are rebinds. They're advertising them as collector's editions, which is creating a lot of this confusion. Yeah. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but I did Google around, read a lot of Reddit, and it seems like the general consensus is rebindings are fine as long as you are explicitly clear that this is not an official product. So by saying it's a collector's edition or a special edition, you're muddying the water there. Does that hold up in the court of law? I don't know. That seems to be the general consensus, that you shouldn't do that. You can't do that. That would get you in trouble. Nathaniel Luscombe did share that Fabled Press has issued a statement. It's promising, only time will tell. I don't buy special editions, so this really isn't a space I'm super involved with. And here is Fabled's statement. Hi guys, I just wanted to put out a little statement here. I, by no means, meant to offend anyone by being so open about my use of AI tools when I create my designs. I'm a small-scale bookbinder that never expected my post to gain so much organic traction this quickly. I'm in no way bulk making hundreds of these books and was astounded that so many people found my page in the last week. Being new to the scene, I didn't realize how harmful it was to designers and the environment. But now I've been educated. I have already commissioned an artist going forward. I hope people can see that not only do I understand, but I'm acting upon your words as I genuinely love books and want to do better. I just find it hard to believe that if you're part of the book community with your Bookstagram, posting books that you read, that you haven't heard about AI being bad. I don't know. I cannot thank those of you who have reached out in kindness to better educate me in this new space I'm navigating. Those messaging me so unkindly, I understand your points and hope you can see I truly meant no malice and am actively working to resolve this. Does this person deserve hate and vitriol directly aimed at them through DM? Certainly not. But I really don't think that they're actively working to resolve this because it's been over a week and their Etsy store still has all of the AI designs. At the end of the day, I'm just a girl who started bookbinding only 3 months ago, so safe to say I have a lot to learn. And that's another thing that gets me. Not that people can't just be magically good at something. You know, it happens. You're selling these books for hundreds of dollars. Like, what did you spend on the original book? Like $30 max. And then I'm supposed to believe in 3 months you've gotten so good that you're A, able to sell them, B, for such a markup. Like, and that isn't to say, like, there are classes on bookbinding. You can get an education in bookbinding to be good at bookbinding, but like, in all of this person's comments and their posts, they're kind of like saying, oh, this is just a hobby I took up, silly me. And it's like, but you're trying to monetize it. Going forward, I will work solely with artists and will aim to slowly replace all my existing editions as I get the commissioned work done. Replace them now. Replace them now. Like, yes, arguably, the harm's already done. She can't undo the AI use. But it just makes you seem disingenuous when you're like, I'll never do that again and I'll stop. But then you keep doing it because, well, it's already made. People recall things all the time. And they don't even have to get rid of the books. Assuming they're processed, they could cover it up. Maybe they can peel off whatever they did so they still have the, you know, cover part, not just the picture on it. And like, you know, kind of an example, kind of like a similar-ish example, obviously way more extreme because it dealt with a slur, but there was that carabiner girl on TikTok who shortened carabiner to a word that's a slur for Hispanics. And people pointed it out like, hey, when you read that, it sounds bad. And she immediately covered up all, like she couldn't get new bags, but she covered up the bags and changed all her marketing and issued an apology. She didn't keep selling the bags because, oh, well, I already have them. obviously this situation isn't exactly parallel, but I feel like in spirit, they're kind of the same. Oh, version of X product hurt you? Let me change it instead of let me keep selling it until it sells out and then I'll do a new version. Fabled Press did come into the comments on multiple posts saying, I'm just a girl who makes book rebinds. It's just me. It takes a while to get things done because I'm doing everything by myself. But it's been over a week and a half and all of their items are, oh my God, it had 100 sales when I looked before recording and someone already bought another one. Like all of these other AI pieces are still up. And you can't tell me they aren't because they look exactly like the other one, which they said, oh yeah, that one was AI. Almost $700 for Fourth Wing, $224 for Onyx Storm, $68 for sprayed edges. Like, come on. And I'm pretty sure, isn't there an official edition with like that same spray almost? $315 for Lord of the Rings. $102 for Fearless. Some of them do seem like just a book cover over the original cover, like the paper sheet thing. So I don't know. Personally, I don't really know why you'd buy a special edition from someone else when the author's alive. Like, yeah, you want a special edition of Jane Austen, go for it. You know, she's not around. But I don't know. To me, buying the book, like, yeah, it's because I liked the book, but I could just use Libby. I could just use Kindle Unlimited for free or for that subscription price instead of buying the book. But I buy the book because I want to support the author. And I did buy this because there's a whole scandal going on right now about Leigh Bardugo changed the ages. So I did buy it to double check because it's only the physical form. But it's like, if you love that author so much, if you love the work they did, why wouldn't you want your money to go to them instead of roundabout through someone else getting a ton of profit? You know, I don't know. That's just me personally. You can have whatever opinion you want. But what just kind of gets me is like looking through Reddit at this because rebindings are technically legal through the first sale doctrine. They sold you the physical book. You can do whatever you want to the physical book, and if that involves reselling it, go for it. Rebindings would be illegal if you're printing off the text yourself, for example, because that's a form of pirating. You're reproducing. You're not just altering what was already produced for you. So it's like that I get. But looking at Reddit, that I have open on my other monitor, you know, it seems pretty clear. Most people are saying the rebinding itself is fine. But what is iffy is the artwork. So, you know, and obviously there's interpretation between, you know, what's written in a book and how you see that description. So it's like fan art is kind of like iffy in that. But generally speaking, at least when the whole Sarah J. Maas thing happened, it was like anyone with illustrated book covers was upset because it's like, now my licensing's gone and I have all these book covers to sell. Fan art, you know? And I guess it's, and people seem to like be implying that's because SJM has trademarked images showing what these characters look like. So if your fan art looks like her trademarked images, that's where the overlap is. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. But for the art, you know, people are saying, yeah, you need to pay the artist for what art you're using. But then it's like, are they even allowed to sell that art? All the examples I can think of are already images. You know, a lot of people are saying it's like any copyrighted logos or something. You can't use any of those. Someone pointed out that in the UK, a lot of books are sold with a clause at the beginning saying, like, you can't resell this in a different cover. I mean, that's something to consider. There is a user on the bookbinding subreddit named Cooley Hot who ran into this issue 3 years ago because they were selling rebindings of an unnamed IP. Right. So you can see that Cooley Hot posted on the bookbinding subreddit 3 years ago, I'm being told I have to be licensed by the author to rebind her books. Is this legal under first sale doctrine? And they received an email that they redacted saying, to whom it may concern, my name is blah, and I work with so-and-so who is so-and-so's literary agent. I came across your rebinding of book title here via Instagram, and I'm reaching out to you because the merchandising rights to all books and characters created by author are owned and controlled by her and protected by intellectual property law. And selling art or merchandise based on X books without authorization is in violation of author's intellectual property rights. That being said, we do have agreements with a number of fan artists and merchandise vendors, granting them non-exclusive permission to create and sell their artwork and other approved items. If you plan to sell these rebindings or any other art or merchandise, I invite you to get in touch with me at blah, blah, blah about obtaining permission to create and sell your work. Most of the comments seem to think that this is SJM. We'll never know. And they did confirm that the email was from an actual person associated with the author. They did admit that it is a very popular YA author and who is known to license a lot of fan merch. But they also don't think that this is right. And they're wondering if it's because the dust jacket has character art on it. But they later came back with an update where they got a response to their email where the person says, my email was just to let you know that if you sell them as other than a commission for a person, that is individually, as opposed to selling them in a retail situation, you need to be licensed. I wasn't sure if that was going to be your intention when I came across your page. You can sell individual commission pieces, but not bulk sales without a license. I hope that helps. Cooley Hot did express that the first email was vague and that they are upset about the accusation, but I do feel like at the end, if you plan to sell these rebindings or any other blank art or merchandise, I invite you to get in touch with us. That's when they mentioned the selling versus the commissioning, you know? I don't know. So I feel like the first email was pretty clear. If you're going to sell these, let's talk about it. Cooley Hot did mention that someone in legal advice said it's illegal to include the name on the spine, but a lot of comments are saying that's absurd. And the comments do seem to reach a consensus that, like fan art commissions can be whatever, but it's you selling that specific piece of fan art that is the gray area. So I guess that Fabled Press is kind of like towing the line on this. By saying, each copy is handmade to order, but you're still selling this particular item. You know what I mean? I don't know. And then again, there are 3 months of experience, but it's heirloom quality. Is it though? I don't know. Because the super fancy book rebinds that people were talking about several months ago that were like hundreds of dollars. Yeah. That company was well reputed for being very high quality. That's why they're hundreds of dollars. I just can't believe that you have gotten so good in 3 months that you're making heirloom quality book rebinds. I mean, maybe saying it's made to order is all that they need to do, even if they're recreating the same exact image multiple times. Who knows? How do you feel about book rebindings? Well, that is all for now. I will see you next time.